This is Jesus Kaufman channel where Jesus, well, let me just get down to the point. I'm looking out here and these kids these days are so deprived without parents, growing up without parents, whether it be father figures because the state interrupted and intruded, or there's a whole generation that was just taught to not take care of kids because that's what the state taught and trained the people. And they're talking about more concerned with the war and everything else in the world than focusing on the families. So they brainwashed a bunch of men, and then they murdered their children, which was our generation. They murdered our kids, or murdered my generation. Then when the ones of us that did survive, they kidnapped their children from. So, with that being said, look at you out here chilling so deprived. At least I'm able to stand on my own too. I know the situation. I'm able to face it because I'm not a coward. And that's what y'all need to do. But instead, y'all run around here saying, oh, we got these desert fathers, or we got father here, we got father there. When it already talks about where you have two it talks about the Bible having a parent dad and having the father in heaven. So you obviously are neglecting, you're like talking about fathers because you're neglecting the situation that you don't have a dad. Your daddy out here just walked out on you, or that you was kidnapped from your parents or your dad. So you're deprived. So let me just get this straight. I'm not your father just because you see me on YouTube. I'm not this other person just because you see me out here. You're not going to just be, oh, cling to this spirit or that spirit because they are a fatherly figure. You know what? We tried that. That didn't work. You guys neglected your responsibilities. It started way back many years ago in the 50s and 60s when you was molesting children. And that could have been, you was not only spiritually molesting like you're doing nowadays, but you was physically molesting back then. At least you stopped physically molesting them, but then it started pouring out on the road where you're spiritual molesting, what you're still doing these days. It's pouring out where everyone else is molesting these kids. At least you're able to control yourself these days. But that's how you've been learning over the years and changing yourself over the years, is you've been trying to adapt to push all your negligence and project all your guilt upon everyone else out here. So everyone else is suffering and being the scapegoat. So much that the states made them glorifying the goats nowadays. And it harmed us, rest of us out here who stands with Lord Jesus Christ. So you're the ones responsible for situations of my stuff that I speak against. We're not your fathers out here just because we raised up against the state and you the guys who are acting neglect. What needs to do, and what needs to be paying attention to, is paying that 10% to people like us who has raised up and responsible. And then you can maybe we can accept you as a spiritual son or something like that. Till then, you owe us our money, and you can fuck off. We're not your desert fathers.